Hi everyone, welcome back to our Software at Work ERPNext knowledge sharing videos. Today in this video, we will be learning and exploring us as how to manage the import transactions in ERPNext, ensuring the accurate financial reporting and efficient inventory management. Import transactions are relevant to the company which does and engage in the international trade and import of the goods from foreign suppliers. These companies need to record the import transactions in accounting system to accurately reflect the cost, duties and other expenses associated with this import of the goods. So let's now explore the world of recording of import purchase. So in this video, we would be learning here as how to record the import purchase invoice with multi-currency effect, then the payment of that supplier in the multi-currency, and then the booking of the bill of the entry. And finally, we will see the landed cost voucher, which will add the other expenses cost to our valuation of the goods. So let's see in action here. So I just navigate to my product. So let's see here. Okay, so we have come to the ERPNext homepage section here. Now here from here homepage, I just go to the global search and first I will show you what are the things we require to map in the supplier masters. So we need to go to the supplier masters, and in the supplier masters, which is our foreign supplier, we need to see the country which is given here. Yes, it may be other than India. Then the billing currency which is required, that is USD. It's most important that if we, any of the supplier, if you want to do a billing in USD or Euro, then such billing currency need to be updated here. Second thing, you need to also do the creditors USD. That is not the local creditors, but you have to create the creditors in USD. If it was Euro or if it is in Euro, then you have to select creditors Euro. But yes, in that case, you need to see that the currency you have updated as USD. Similarly, also you can see here I have selected here contact and address, and then you can see here under the tax section I have been selecting here the GST category as overseas. It's very important that all these things you need to be updated here. So let's just have a checklist. At first, the billing currency is very important. Secondly, the contact and address definitely would be updated, and then in the tax section you have to select it as GST category as overseas, and under the accounting you need to have a creditors USD and not a local creditors. Okay, if you want to see such a configuration, yes, how I created this chart of accounts, you can say creditors USD, and definitely it is currencies in USD, accounts payable as a parent account and accounts type as payable. Yes, in this way you need to create the creditors chart of accounts of USD. Similarly, if it is in the euro, then you need to create in euro. So first step, what we need to do is a necessary configuration we need to the foreign supplier. Okay, now let's start with here. So we have a purchase invoice transaction here. So what we will do, the first step would be recording the import purchase transaction multi-currency effect. So let's see here. So I have selected here, I am selecting a series, let's say purchase import. You can take or what you can select as per your requirement, and then I have selected a supplier here, supply invoice number. You can see here prompt message has come that is fetching foreign exchange rate, which I will explain you. So let's say just enter any supply invoice number. I'm just putting randomly here. Then you can see again it was fetching exchange rate, and where the exchange rate is fetching, it is nothing but from USD 81.96. Now you will be asking from where these rates are getting fetched. Since from version 14, ERPNext has come with a new document settings, that is current exchange settings, from where it is provided that they are the three types of, or they are the various types of service provider, but right now two service providers are there. One is a frankfurter.app and other is the exchange.host. But in case you want a customs let's say service provider, yes, then you need to provide the API details, and then you can update the details of the API, and yes, the rates would be fetched from there. But right now it is fetching from the frankfurter.app. The rates are given here 81.96. So this is an open source app from which the ERPNext has integrated with that particular app, and yes, and based on that the rates are getting fetched. But it's not mandatory that we need to select or we need to go with that particular rate. We can change here as per our requirement also. So let's say I'm selecting an $82 here. Then let put an atom code. So I will just enter two atom, let's say digital temperature, which I'm importing at the rate of, let's say $500. Then I'm adding a row, and let's say I'm also importing the second item, let's say replaceable sensor, and let's say it is 1000 euro. So you can see here that is 1500 is a euro, and multiply by, if you see here, what we can say is an 82, the system gives an information of 1 lakh, what we can say 23,000. So I'm just saving that. Yes, the warehouse is required. So yes, I just select a warehouse here. Okay, and then I will save this, and then I will submit this. Okay, so you can see here my purchase import transactions has been done here. Okay, now the second step what we can do here, here we can make the payment entry, which I can show you, or later on whenever you are making the payment, yes, you can just go to the payment entry, and from the payment entry, yes, you can see here you can pay mode of payment, you can select here. Okay, and you can see the supplier is there. Okay, and then yes, you can select the company bank account, or from here the chart of accounts, you can select it from which bank you are making a payment. Okay, or right now I'm just making in a cash here transactions, and you can see what rate you are making at that particular payment, either you are making at $82, or what you the at the time of the payment, what was the rate. So let's say at the time of purchase we have done 82, and let's say at the time of the payment we have done a payment of $80. So 1500, which is nothing, into $80. If you see here, so that comes to 1,20,000. So we have done the payment of 1,20,000. Though right now we are making 1,500, but at the time of the payment, maybe the rates were different, rate of the exchange was different, and that is why we are taking as 80. It depend upon your use cases as what would be the rate at the a particular date, and then yes, the invoices are getting knocked off, which is nothing but in the USD. If you want to see before the payment entry what is our outstanding, so if I go to the general ledger here, and if I want to see here, let's say if you see my account party type here, so if I am selecting a supplier, and under the supplier, if you see here international, this one, so you can get here. So right now before making the payment entry, I would also show you as what is the accounts payable showing in the system itself. So yes. Okay, so let's see here, it's loading. Okay, I just remove this filter. Yeah, you can see here 1500 was in the USD. So the outstanding which shows here minus, that is nothing but the credit of 1500, which is showing in reflecting as in the international technology. And if you want to see in the INR, yes, you can see in the INR also, which is nothing but 1,23,000. So in the USD, you can see here it is showing as 1500. Now here we are making the payment entry. So you can see I have done the making the payment entry at $80 at the same invoice. Now, if you see here, there is an exchange difference of 3000, because we have at the time of the recording of purchase, we have done at the rate of 83, and right now here we have done the purchase, sorry, the payment entry at the rate of 80, right? So the $3 is the difference, that is nothing but $3, which shows as a 3000 rupees. Okay, so the difference of what we done, that is sorry, $82 and minus at the rate of $80 at the payment entry. So the difference is, I'm sorry, the $2, and which is nothing but it shows $2 multiplied by 1500, that is 3000. And there is a button here, set exchange gain and loss. So you can see once you click on the set exchange gain or loss, automatic the exchange gain and loss entry will get reflected here. The system has already created the chart of account of exchange gain and loss, though you can create based on your requirement, that is realized gain and loss and unrealized gain and loss, but system by default it is taking here based on the company settings, where we have fixed the chart of accounts as a default chart of accounts, which is exchange gain or loss. Now I will save this, and then I will submit this. So you can see here we have done the payment entry of that foreign supplier here, and if you see the ledger view, yes, the creditors USD 1,23,000, the cash or the bank whatever 1,20,000, and exchange gain or loss you can see as 3000 as the credit. It means we have gained on that particular transactions, okay, because of the exchange rate differences. So in this way we have seen the second type of the scenario as how we can record the international payments of that foreign supplier. Okay, so this was the second point. Now let again come to our purchase invoice, which we have recorded as a foreign purchase invoice, and you can see the status here right now. It is showing, it will show as from unpaid to paid status. So if you see here, it is showing now the paid status. Now let's say there is a third use case which we need to see, that is nothing but the bill of the entry. So which I had told you, yes, now from version 14, with the version 14 and not with the latest version, that is with the upcoming version 14 point something, it has come with a new feature of bill of entry. So yes, in the bill of entry you can see here this new things has come, which has been enhanced from as per the Indian compliances app. So if you upgrade this Indian compliances app in the version 14, yes, you will be getting this bill of entry functionality here. So you can see bill of entry series, and then you can enter the bill of entry number, whatever is applicable. The bill of lading number also you can enter here. The bill of entry date. Let's say I'm just entering right now the same date, and this all these things I have just entering as a randomly here just for our training and demonstrating purpose. So let's say here custom duty payable, by default this expenses account or duty payable account is been mapped here, and custom duty expenses is also mapped here. And you can see here there the automatic the items are got fetched here. Now as you know, in the bill of the lading the custom duty is there, and we need to mention here what is the accessible value. So based on the bill of lading, we need to see what is the accessible value, and based on that, we need to import the figures here. So let's say I'm just taking here as randomly 1 lakh, and maybe in this I will be just selecting as 50,000. Custom duty which I have incurred, let's say on the first item was let's say 10,000, or let's say make I just make it 20,000 here, and here let's say I just make it 5,000 here. And if in that case, in this custom duty, including the accessible value, if you have come with the GST, yes, then you also can select the GST rate. If suppose there is a use case where you have paid the GST on that custom duty, yes, then you can select it. But this GST would be the payable on taxable value. So you can see here, and automatically the tax calculation will come here. So I'm just saving this, and then I will submit this. So this way we have seen the bill of the entry, the third scenario or the third treatment as what we can have to do in the what we can say is the import transaction. Now bill of entry is very important, which comes when we do the import transaction from our clearing and forwarding gateway. Yes, where we get the breakup of all the expenses like custom duty and other expenses, and how much is been let's say allocated to each item. So all that breakup of expenses or additional expenses are shown in the bill of the entry here. So you can see right now there is an accounting posting which has got happened here. So you can see custom duty expenses account debit, input IGST, and custom duty payable account. So you can see here there's three custom duty expenses account will go to our profit and loss account. This would come to our balance sheet, and this also will get reflected to our balance sheet. So let's say if I go to the profit and loss account here, yes, so you can see here there is a custom duty expenses which is incurred, that is 25,000 rupees here. Okay, and the IGST which will come in the balance sheet, and custom duty payable which will show as a current liability. Okay, now I will again go to the bill of the entry, and from here also there is an option to make the payment entry of this custom duty payable. So there is a general entry which will get recorded, and you can see it will recorded through bank entry, custom duty payable account debit to cash account here, the date and everything, and you need to put a reference number. So this, let's say you are putting any e-payment reference number or any RTGS NFT, whatever the reference number you can record here, and in this way we are making the payment of this custom duty payable account. So you can see here the custom duty payable account is also been happened. So custom duty payable will get nullified. So the third use case we have seen, or the third type of the transaction we have seen, that as how to record the bill of the entry where the custom duty payable account will be get paid, and also the custom duty expenses will get booked here. Now the last what we will be getting here is the landed cost voucher. So we will be recording here the landed cost voucher here. So let's say adding the landed cost voucher here, the company and the date on which you want to record the landed cost voucher. Now there is an option where you want to fetch the item either from the purchase invoice or from the purchase receipt. Right now we have done the direct purchase invoice, so we will be getting the difference of the direct purchase invoice here, the value of that, and get items from purchase receipt. So it will fetch the items which we have entered in the purchase invoices. So all that gets auto fetch in the get items from purchase. Once we click on that, the item gets auto fetch here. Now you can see here even the amount each accessible or the net value has been given for that particular product, and at the end you will be getting applicable charges. So let's say if you want to add let's say custom duty was borne. Now this landed cost voucher we are recording only to add the product cost or to add all the relevant expenses of our import to our product cost. So if you see our, let's say if we go to our stock ledger here, if I just go to the my stock ledger, and if you see here the cost which has been showing for sensor which we have done through the purchase invoices was 41,000 and 82,000. Now through this landed cost, let's say we have incurred, so we will go to the expenses included in valuation. Let's say custom duty. So how much was the custom duty we have done? So I think so we have done the custom duty. Let me see in the purchase invoice. So if you see in the landed, yes, the expenses which we have done, or sorry, so we have to go to the bill of entry. Yes. S- So you can see here we have incurred the custom duty as 25,000 here. Okay. So you can see 25,000 was there, and GST including which comes to 31,500, right? So let's say this custom duty we have incurred as 25,000. So we just add here 25,000. Along with that, if there is any other things, right now here we will be selecting here expenses including valuation. So here we'll be selecting here, and let's say any other expenses also, let's say clearing and forwarding charges also you have borne it. So you have to just add it here. So let's say I just add it here 10,000 rupees. Okay. And then the system will give an option whether you want to distribute these expenses based on quantity wise or amount wise or manually. How? Because these two expenses or these additional expenses need to be allocated to our item or inventory valuation cost. So we have a two item. So on this two item, how this landed cost should be get proportionated. So that is why this has been given here. So how it should be apportioned like based on quantity or amount. So let's say I'm just giving based on amount. So you can see here this 30 20, sorry, the 35,000 amount has been apportioned based on the amount wise. So on the first amount the applicable charges would be 11,666, and on the second would be 23,333. The system automatically calculate the apportion amount based on the amount wise. It will get proportionate, and we'll save this and I will submit this. So once I submit this, you can see here what would be the impact here. So if I go to my purchase invoice, so if you see my purchase invoice here, and if I see my view as an accounting posting, you can see here creditors USD, stock in hand, and then expenses included in valuation, which will show as 35,000 as the credit here. So in this way, this will impact here. And most important, if you see our stock ledger, so you can see here the other additional charges which we have done through landed cost voucher has been added to our incoming rate. So in this way, it will add to our product per unit cost here. So that is why we are adding here the landed cost voucher. So we have seen the recording of purchase invoice, then payment of custom duty, then also we have seen the recording of the bill of entry, and then finally we have seen the landed cost voucher. Now suppose later on you get a bill from your let's say clearing and forwarding suppliers regarding the expenses of clearing and forwarding. So how you can book that? So let's say you will have to go to the purchase invoice. Okay, and in the purchase invoice you can say, let's say add here. So let's say I'm selecting a normal purchase invoice, and this is from my domestic supplier, not from international or foreign suppliers. So I'm selecting, let's say there is an invoice which I received from frontline clearing and forwarding. I will select it. Let me enter supply invoice number here. So I will enter the supply invoice number here and the date. This is just I'm putting randomly here, and then I will select here that is freight and forwarding charges. So here I have created one inventory item as a non-stock item, but this is a service item, or what we can say is a non-stock item which don't which should not give me any implication or any reports relating to the stock legend report, because this is just for recording my let's say for my clearing and forwarding charges. So let's say I have incurred, let's say for example 10,000 rupees. So in this way 10,000 will come, and if there is a GST, yes, you can select the GST part. Okay, and definitely on internally I have mapped this clearing and forwarding charges item with my freight and forwarding charges. So there is an expenses set which you need to book it here, freight and forwarding charges. So it's very important either you can map on the default data master, or you can also select at the time of the recording of the transaction. So this I have made to my expense head clearing and forwarding, because this is my service item or my expenses item. So that is why I have done it, and I will save this and I will submit this. So you can see here, if I go to the accounting posting, so you can see here creditors account credit and my freight and forwarding account will get debited. So in this way, if later on we are getting a bills from the clearing and forwarding or from any other expenses, we need to book the through purchase invoice, where we can create a non-maintained stock and we can record the same. So in this way, you can see here we have done it. Now overall, if you see an impact on the profit and loss account, so you can see, and if I see the profit and loss account impact, so you can see, yes, the expense including valuation, which is on the credit side, then custom duty expenses, then the exchange gain on loss, and my forwarding, freight and forwarding charges here. So this would be impact, the total impact on what we have done the transaction here. And similarly, if you see my balance sheet here, so if I go to my balance sheet here, I can see here in the balance sheet, my cash would be there, my stock in hand would be there, my input IGST, which is been there because as I input it is would be there. My creditors would be standing, that is 10,000 to the extent of that clearing and forwarding, which I need to pay. But definitely my custom duty payable, I have done the payment. That is why it's not showing anything here. Now, if I see my general ledger of my foreign supplier, so if I go to here, general ledger, and if I select a party type here, let's say my supplier, and if I select here let's say international, this one, you can see here 1,500 which was been debited and created, and the closing balance is zero. So this is, let's say, payment into and purchase which will get nullified, and it has been got zero here. Okay, and similarly, if I see in the INR, I can check in the INR also. So this is all the implication which I have demonstrated you on the balance sheet part, on the profit and loss account, on the general ledger, and similarly you can see on the inventory cost per valuation. So this is how we can manage and we can record the complete import transaction in ERPNext, which completely reflects the true picture of the balance sheet, the profit and loss account, and the inventory cost. Okay, so in this way you can see here. Now coming to, yes, so overall if you see here, we have seen this complete scenario as how we can record, or the complete use case and the study, and a demonstration on the training on this as how we can record the import purchase transaction. Thank you for watching this, and subscribe more, and we look forward to assisting you on your journey towards leveraging this ERP Next. To contact, you can use or schedule a consultation. Please reach out at this number which has been mentioned in the PPT. Thank you for watching.